What's going on, Mike? This is Desmond Clark, former tight end of your Chicago Bears.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Halas Hall Report.
Defense has been playing too good. So I'm going to take the Bears in a rare shootout.
I mean, if that offensive line, we get some help for that one. We in our draft and everything, we need to focus on our offense.
You know, he's going to be on a roll here today. I think he's at least going to have 2 sacks.
Doing it all year long, so if we stop those 2 guys, who else they got?
Robbie to go. I mean, he took out Aaron.
Yeah, okay. Touchdown, we got the 1-point lead with 61 seconds left.
Defense is playing good, but our offense has got to show something. Our running game is there, but we need more in the passing game. Welcome to Halas Hall Report today. It's game day. We're kickoff in just under an hour. Coming off the loss to the Dolphins, 35-32. We'll talk about that game for a little bit, a little recap of it. We'll start with Dan. What did you think about the loss?
Congrats to Justin Fields for setting that record last week. And that, disappointment. Yeah, the worst part of the whole thing is that stupid 3rd down. How the hell they missed the damn pass interference in that? That was unbelievably a joke. And that offense looked, good. Defense needs some work. Yeah, but we lost. Was it our first game without Roquan and Quinn? Hopefully this week we do better.
Definitely. At the end of the game, we had opportunities to win. The offense kept us in the game, and I don't like to blame a call, but I don't know how they missed it. Like, he was getting hugged, like the Heimlich maneuver, like, definitely was a pass interference for sure. But anything you'd like to add to it, Woody?
Listen, I don't like to make excuses, but that pass interference call on Eddie Jackson was fucking terrible. The missed call, it looks like Claypool was being raped by 2 guys. But overall, offense did good. Justin Fields show up. But our defense again, I mean, what was it, 3 straight touchdowns, and the 3rd touchdown was the blocked punt. So our defense has got to step up. But I appreciate the refs coming out and say they missed that call. They blew the call, but it's too late now.
Say that. But it doesn't help us now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It doesn't help us now.
Are they going to donate the money that they made for the mess up? Or?
Yeah. But I did say last week that these cornerbacks last week were going to get a workout. I don't like to wish an injury on anybody if Vildor is out, but he got burned again last week. So I think, Gibson, they got to get in on the quarterback. I mean, Tua was just, the pocket was just huge last week, and he threw all over us. So defense has got to do better.
100%. CJ, it's on you, bud. What do you think?
Well, I think Dan and Woody made some valid points. It was definitely a couple of missed calls. Defense, front four, definitely got to step up. Linebackers got to do better. We knew that the secondary was going to have a tough task on containing those guys from the Dolphins. But overall, I mean, Justin did his thing again last week. But the defense, I think, is the glaring hole, especially within that front four. That has to improve drastically moving forward.
Absolutely agree. Yeah, I agree with you on the defense for sure. Only allowing 1 punt, we're definitely relying on our offense to keep us into the game when we're so used to the defense keeping us into the game. It's a little different of a shift. What do you think about the last week, Ken?
Well, hey, first off, to all my brothers and sisters out there, hope you had a great Vets Day. Hope you all didn't go and stuff yourselves too much at Applebee's and all the other places that gave away the free food. But hope you had a great Vets Day. As far as the game, you guys mentioned the 2 calls. The NFL came out during the week and actually acknowledged that they botched both those plays were bad calls. But like Mike said, it doesn't help us now, and you got to play the game, and refereeing's part of the game. I think the offense, you're starting to see it click. The offensive line is improving. So the things we wanted to see on the offense are starting to happen. Now it's the defense, which at the beginning of the year we thought, oh my God, it was still going to be decent or be a good strength, is now, not. So it'll be interesting to see how the Bears defense reacts over the next couple of weeks. I think we're going to win at least 3 more games. I said at the beginning of the year we'll win between 6 and 9. I think that's definitely still attainable. I think today should be a win against the Lions. But I know we'll get to that later. But no, they showed some stuff they can do with Claypool, and just Claypool being on the field made a difference. Look at what it did for other receivers to be opened up. It was nice to see Harry get more involved, Mooney get more involved, Kmet. That was wonderful to see him get Kmet involved in the passing game versus just blocking.
2
So
touchdowns.
a lot of positives from that game offensively. Defensively, they didn't do terrible on the back end. The front side, though, the D line, no pressure, like you said. Tua had all day, and you're going to be coverage all day if you've got a century to throw the ball. So Brisker and those guys did a great job. They contained. They didn't really have any big breakout plays, right? Even when they got the ball to Tyreek or they got the ball to Waddle, there was no yards after the catch. Immediately hit for the most part. So they did a good job. It's just that front 4, they got to do better.
100%. We're going to move on to the short 2-minute video real quick that I do every week to recap of the last game before we move to the next segment.
He was a number 1 pick with lots of hype. It was a season gone wrong. We were crying. Nagy got canned, and the Bears were bringing in Coach Eberflus. Now he's flying. Yeah, running Justin Fields, looking like the real deal, moving like hell on wheels, running wherever he feels, running Justin Fields. His throws look good, hit Mooney for an open score, Cole Kmet too, in the end zone. He runs all day, the O is unstoppable, breaking records now, watch him roll. Yeah, running Justin Fields, looking like the real deal, moving like hell on wheels, running wherever he feels, running Justin Fields. Woo. Woo. Woo.
God bless Tom people. God bless Tom.
Man, I heard that. I was like, man, I love that. Like, that's catchy. The next thing I have, which we'll come back to it at 11:30 for the answer, is a new segment. Can you guess the player? 3 clues every week. It could be a current player or a non-current player. Just was in the NFL. But he's from Baylor College, drafted by the Bears, and his zodiac is Libra. We'll have you guys think about that for a little bit. We'll come back to it at 11:30 and get some guesses. But next, grade day. What do you think Justin Fields' grade from last week's performance? We'll start with Dan.
an A. I mean, did set the record. I mean, he was able to move the ball. Yeah, I gotta say, give it an A.
Okay. CJ, what do you grade?
I agree with Dan. I think he deserves an A. The one thing that I noticed that he did last week was he was able to read the defense. He was able to call like little small audibles at the line, and that was the one thing that I noticed. So I definitely have to give him an A for that.
Gotcha. Ken?
How do you not give him at least an A? I mean, and it's like the running piece is great, but like CJ just said, it wasn't just that. He was reading the blitzes, reading the defense. His throwing is much improved over the season. Yeah, he's an A. I mean, if he keeps these numbers up, he's gonna be an A every week.
Gotcha. Woody?
I think it's an A. But like I said, yeah, he broke the record and everything like that. But he did an A for moving the ball, throwing the ball around. Like I said, Komet had 2 touchdowns, but he just can't do that every week because those aren't design runs. We know what happens to running quarterbacks if they run too much. But I do give him an A.
Hey, Woody,
Yes.
on that though, I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you on that 100%. However, the caveat to that is, unlike running quarterbacks we've seen in the league like RG3, Michael Vick, Fields is not taking hits. Like, he is getting out of bounds, he's sliding, or he's just running into the end zone. So I agree with you, but if they can keep running Fields and he can keep not taking hits, I think we're going to run him all day.
I was gonna say the same exact thing, Ken. I was actually talking to Bill about that, but yeah, I grade him as an A+ in the run, but overall A. Yeah, he needs to work on some passes, stuff like that. But I mean, if the run's there, take it. I mean, he did a great job last week, like you said, breaking a rushing record. Like that's pretty impressive. You know what I mean? You got Vic on the list a few different times, 3 different times. So, and it's early in his career too. So I think he'll personally get 1,000 yards rushing if they keep utilizing him in the run game. We could possibly have 2 people in the 1,000-yard rusher because one of our running backs should as well.
I just hope that when these teams they're gonna analyze him, they're gonna have a spy, and then they're gonna have a great defensive line. So you have a great defensive line that are coming at you. Then you have a QB spy. He's not going to have all those chances he had last week. We'll see, though.
Yeah, but if they do that, that should open up the running. That should open up the passing game then, right? Because that means now they have to take off the passing assignments.
If he has time, yeah.
Well, as a team, we've had the ball we've had the ball more than the opposing team, I think, 3 weeks in a row. And I mean, yeah, Justin Fields threw 28 times, which it's one of his highest. You know what I mean? Which I like about it is his percentages. He's almost 70%.
Yeah, and like some of the incompletions, he's putting the ball. What I like about the incompletions, because everyone looks at the completions. Oh, look, he's 17 of 28. I look at the ones they didn't catch. Like, were they dangerous throws, or were they just, they're usually put in a place where if his receiver wasn't getting it, no one was. So, I mean, to me, that's even more important in some regards, that his ball placement on the incomplete passes was such that he wasn't giving up a bad interception. If his guy couldn't get it, no one was getting it. So he's improved on that from last year for sure. But as the season's progressed, we still get every so often, he still gives you a pass. You're like, all right, come on, dude. But for the most part, that's a big improvement in his game, is his ball placement.
Definitely. While we're on you, Ken, we'll go studs and duds of last week. Who is your stud and who is your dud?
Well, let's just say let's take Justin Fields off the table for stud, right? Because that would probably be everyone's unanimous vote after breaking an NFL record. Stud, I I'd have to go with the Bears, and it's going to be a group here. I think it's the backfield, defensive backfield for the Bears. Yeah, Waddle and Cheetah still got some yards, but they contained them. Like, they were probably the lone bright spot on the defense, and they contained them. They had some nice defensive passes too, but they actually really contained them, considering that we got zero pressure on the quarterback, and the duds will be the Bears' defensive line, who got zero pressures on Tua. I mean, they didn't even touch Tua the whole game, I don't think. So, both on the defensive side of the ball, Brisker and crew did a great job of containing the Miami pass catchers once they got to the ball. But the defensive line, they were the big dud because they couldn't. Heck, you could have had me or Woody back there, and we would have looked like really good quarterbacks last week.
I was pretty good back then. Anyway,
I'm telling you, we both could have.
We'll move to CJ. Who is your stud and who is your dud?
I'm about to say Claypool was stud because of the things that he was able to create for the other players out there. Mooney got some opportunities. Komet, you see what he did. But I think just his presence alone pretty much changed that offense as far as in the passing game. And the dud, it's going to have to be the Bears front four. They still have not created pressure. They haven't gotten sacks or anything. So until those front four show some improvement there, I'm gonna keep giving them a low grade.
Dan?
I gotta agree with Ken about the stud. Well, gotta be Claypool from when he was out there looked pretty good. Looked good, so. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, my dud is, I agree with you guys, the whole defense. For only allowing one punt, they got to do better than that. 100%. And my stud, I'm going to step out the box and I'm going to say the offensive play calling. To make Justin Fields get the opportunities to, do what he does best, I'm going to say the play calling. They did a great job.
Hey, Mike. To answer, I'm sorry, off topic. To answer your question, Tom Brady just broke another record.
What was it?
He's the first quarterback to win a game in 3 countries outside the U.S., Mexico, England, and now Germany.
Jeez.
Impressive. So, final 21-16?
Yeah. And of course, because it's in Germany, the fans are singing just like it was a soccer match.
yeah, I hear it.
Yeah, they're singing away. Which is awesome when you go to an international football match, soccer match. But we haven't seen that in the England games, but they were doing it in Germany. That was pretty nice.
Right on. But our receiving, as you said, Claypool, I believe he only got, 4 passes to him, which he only took 38% of the snaps last week.
5.
What's that?
I think he had 5 targets.
Oh, 5 targets?
Yeah.
But I believe this week he's going to play a lot more. He's got the offense, for a whole week. So I think he plays a lot more for sure. Last week, our defensive line, like you guys said, was terrible. They didn't really do a whole lot. It was more our defensive backs up into the standings this week. Gordon with 8 tackles. Sanborn, doing his thing, taking Roquan's, not his spot, but making a big plays. He's doing good.
Which Roquan only had 5 tackles last week, but who's counting?
I didn't want to bust it. I didn't want to bust his balls because I'm still a Roquan fan.
Two of those Roquan tackles were on the first drive. Like, he had 2 big tackles in the first drive of that Ravens game, and then it was just like, okay, wow. I mean, it was impressive, right? He stopped that drive, but then he kind of they didn't use him that much after that. So Roquan's going to get a lot better for Baltimore.
Yeah, my I was going to go out of the line too. I like Cole Kmet as my stud last week. The 2 touchdowns he had, the yards after catch, I like. And like I said, defensive line's got to get better. but everybody says defensive line. I say the defensive backfield did good, but Vildor's was getting burned all game last week again.
Definitely. And to add to yours, Woody, Cole Kmet later in the game lowered his helmet and just ran the dude over.
Yep.
Technically, he's got to keep his head up. You know what I mean? Because he did lower his helmet. Like, you got to keep the eyes up, because if not, you'll get caught lead with the helmet.
I was going to say Vildor was the dud, but can I say the referees were the dud too? I mean,
Yeah.
Possibly you could, for sure. Let's move on to the next topic. We're going to move on. Keys to success for the Lions game. What do you think the keys to success? We'll start at the top with Woody.
Just the defensive four. The linemen's got to get on Goff, plain and simple. Swift is a good running back. They got to stop the running game. And, like I said, hopefully Fields doesn't have to run around like that again. Hopefully he can just stay in the pocket every once in a while. But I like the way he's doing. Success is throwing the ball around to different receivers, not favoring one like he did last year with Mooney. So our front four has got to get in on Goff today.
For sure. What do you think, CJ?
I think they're going to have to control the clock, which means that they're going to have to keep their defense off the field as less as possible. But they need to figure out a way to control the clock, because what's going to end up happening is teams are going to start to not burn so much clock. They're going to take their time on the Bears defense and wear them down.
For sure. What do you think, Dan?
Spread the ball out more. Get the passing game going, and as I said, hopefully, Justin doesn't have to run like he did, last week all the time. But as far as Goff goes, contain Goff, but he doesn't do well in cold weather games. Remember, was it 4 years ago in 2018 when he played against us with the Rams on in a cold December, and that he didn't play that well, too. So hopefully the weather is a factor for him.
Right. What do you think, Ken?
Hey, I'm going to respond to Charles McClain. You just said that the Lions have the edge in the running game. Dude, what are you smoking? The Bears are the number one rushing team in the NFL. So how the Lions have the edge there, please educate all of us. The keys to today's game for me offensively is to keep seeing progression with the offense, specifically the O-line with pass protection. I think the passing game will be better with Claypool has had another full week to work and learn this offense. But the big key is going to be the defensive front four. Because if they can get any pressure on Goff, he'll make some mistakes. I think Goff is one of the most improved players this year in the NFL. He could be a comeback player of the year kind of guy, because he's done a lot of good things for Detroit. But if they pressure him, then we might see Jackson, we might see Brisker, we might see some picks. So that's the key right there, is that Bears defensive front four. And offensively, I just want to continue to see progression. But for that guy to say that the Lions have the edge in the running game, I mean, drugs are bad, okay?
Right. I think it's defense as well. Our offense has been playing very well lately, especially the past 3 weeks. Play calling's been on point. But like you said, Ken, the defensive front, if they can create pressures, and hopefully the defense can, make a couple turnovers, because mistakes, that'll kill you. You know what I mean? We haven't had very many mistakes in the past few weeks, which our offense has been keeping us pretty much in the game. And we've had opportunities to win, just can't pull through and get that win, And
it'd be nice to see look at last week was Sandberg's first start. He's a rookie, right? I don't expect him to be Roquan, but I mean, he didn't play a bad game. I think most people around the Twitter sphere, whatever, gave him like a C. I can live with that. I mean, if he improves this week, I think it'll just show even more why Poles did what he did, because we were all high on Sanborn coming out of preseason. So I mean, if Sanborn can start stringing together some good games and keep showing marked improvement too, I think that makes the Bears front four better. He's a little bit of a different type of player than Roquan was. I think they can use him to attack more than used Roquan in some ways. But Roquan was better left to right.
Gotcha. We'll move back to the Guess Who. I'm not sure if anybody knows. We will start with CJ first. Who do you think is CJ? I'm gonna leave you last, Woody.
Oh, come on.
I have no clue. I mean, the only thing I can guess is it's got to be an offensive lineman. It's definitely not a receiver, so I have no clue who this could be.
Ken, and anybody that's watching the show, you could put your guess in the comments as well. I posted it on my page if you follow me. So,
this
Ken,
is a
who do you
current
think?
Bear? The current Bear?
It could be a current. It possibly could or possibly couldn't. It's just a NFL player.
Gary Fensick would come to mind. I think Gary, did he go to Baylor? I can't remember who went to Baylor. I don't follow college much. I don't follow where people come from. So
I figured the Zodiac side would throw everybody off.
Nah.
I even care less about that.
All right, your guess, though, Ken.
I don't know. Fensick? I don't know.
Fensick? Okay.
Isn't Baylor Baylor close to an Ivy League, and Fensick is probably one of the smartest players. Well, besides the Samurai Mike, but I don't think Samurai Mike went to Baylor. Okay, well, I'll change it. I'll say Singletary.
Damn
it,
Dan. Piece of shit.
I have no clue.
Just take a wild guess.
I'll throw Ebner in there.
Ebner? Okay. Woody cheated. He went to my page before the show because I kind of gave him a clue. You want to go ahead and say the correct answer there, buddy?
The correct answer is Mike Singletary.
Correct.
Man, you don't get no damn point for that.
Yeah, I didn't have to look it up or anything.
That's why I left him for last. I was just asking if it was a good idea because
Mike, beginning of the show, what did I say? Baylor? Okay, I know who he's talking about.
Yeah, he definitely did, but he did go to my page. But he did know before that, so you are correct, Woody.
It took me a second. I think didn't Fensick go to an Ivy League school though too?
I'm not 100% sure. Like, I don't know that the Bears player is that depth.
Well, Baylor's not an Ivy League.
It's close to Ivy League. I mean, dude, that's like going to Stanford. I mean, that 85 defense was. I remember, and that's why I said Singletary in the end because all of a sudden that popped. But I mean, between Singletary and Fensick, like those guys had like some mega education behind them. That 85 defense was just probably the smartest defense, academically in NFL history. I mean, those guys, that team was full of like like that.
Right on. I think
he played at Yale.
Jason, I believe.
Yale,
he played at Yale?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an Ivy League school. I would think like Yale, like Harvard, Columbia. I'm not thinking out west.
Baylor's like that next step right before Ivy League, though.
They have the better uniforms, so I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And if there is any Lion fans out there, I'm going to bring a couple Lion fans. If you want to come on, I sent the link. It's through StreamYard. I sent the link through the chats there, so go ahead and jump on if you like. I messaged a couple of my Lion friends, but a couple of them are busy, and I haven't got another response. So
I want the guy who said the Lions have a better running game on.
Yeah, just don't bring up Barry Sanders with his dad being the agent, please, because we all know that already. Just don't bring that up. I don't want to hear it. Nope.
All right, Woody, since you're still speaking there, you want to go ahead and move to the injury report?
Yeah, there's a couple of inactives that were. Willis Jones is another healthy scratch because the Bears activated Pringle today.
Yep.
Tevin Jenkins is out. Harry's out. Vildor's with his foot, I think. Muhammad's out. I gotta see about Harry, and Carter's is on IR. So Now, there's not too many for Detroit today either. Not really no names or anything like that. Lucas, their cornerback, is questionable. Nelson, their tackle, is out, and Reynolds, their wide receiver, is out for today.
I didn't remember seeing anything about Jenkins during the week. What's he out for?
Me neither.
Dude, it came out like what 25 minutes ago or
Yeah,
something. Like I seen it post on Bleacher Report, and yeah, the hairy one too. Like I was like, what happened there? But I was good about Vildor because he's been playing terrible.
I can't like Vildor.
Vildor last year, wasn't he one of the guys who came on late last year, had a decent year? I mean, I think the reason we're seeing Vildor get burnt, though, that's the impact of the rookies, that they're going after Vildor. He does make some good plays here or there, but yeah, he gets burned a lot. But it's one of those situations, like he does make a couple good plays, at least one a game. But I think Vildor is just the recipient of, everyone going after him because they can't go, the other way. You know what I mean?
Right. And to answer Charles' question, Greg just supports the shows. I support his Lions show, but yeah, I invite other teams on as well to talk on the Bear show. So he probably just shared the show. So that's probably what you're seeing, Charles.
Yeah. So Jenkins has a hip injury.
Huh. That's that's bad for the O-line, of course, because his PFFs he's up in the top 3 or 4 in the league right now. That's a big loss for us this week.
Probably Mustafa will be in all game.
Oh, your favorite lineman?
Yeah, he's my favorite lineman. It's between him and Charles Leno Jr. I didn't know which one to keep. I don't know.
Leno all day, because if you see some of the film on Mustafa, some of them's like it's like pee-wee football. Like they could do better. Like he was running around on a couple plays. Like, do I touch him? What do I do?
Leno Jr. is having a good year with Washington.
Yeah, he is. Actually, he is. And you know what though, with Mustafa, if he plays, I mean, look, Mustafa is just bad in certain positions on the line. Because remember, they use him as the Swiss Army knife, right? Wherever you need a lineman, that's where he goes. So, I mean, playing in Jenkins' spot, he might actually do pretty decent. He's not going to be – because Jenkins is playing interior.
See, Ken, I always like your positive attitude. I really do.
What?
I like your positive attitude.
Hey, Ken, get your kids.
My dogs, man.
That's what I meant. That's why you had kids, to take them out, right?
You're taking them on the cruise with you?
Right. But not to backtrack a little bit, we didn't mention that Justin Fields made NFC Offensive Player of the Week, which we don't have very many quarterbacks to actually do that. So
right,
I like to see those pass yards go up a little bit, just a little bit.
He did throw for 28 times last week, so I believe he will, especially with Pringle coming. You got Claypool with another week, so I believe it's going to be a lot better for sure. And Claypool's got great hands, so you just got to get it in the facility. And
who do we think is going to run punts back? Are we going to say Pettis and Herbert maybe?
Maybe Pettis?
Yeah.
Or not even be shocked to see Ebner. Got to get him involved in some kind of play.
I think the Bears are still looking for that person that's going to be, because I really don't like them using a running back or a main offensive guy. I think they're still looking for that guy who can be the returner, and that's all they do. I don't know. I mean, so Pettis might fit that bill, because I don't like Pettis on the offense. I like him just as a returner, to be honest with you.
And I don't like the way they had Herbert on kickoff returns either, even though he got us some field position. If we lose him,
yeah.
I mean, it's going to be Montgomery and Edwards in the backfield.
I mean, that's why I was saying, it's like, I don't know why the Bears do that. Like with Hester, why they ever tried to integrate him in the offense was always beyond me. It's like, just have a guy
Dan, find out who that is, Dan. Who's this Facebook user?
I'm pretty sure it's got to be Dorn.
Dorn or Gill.
Yep.
Bill's kids. That's Bill's kids.
But they just need to. I think we're still searching for who that return. That's one thing. I wouldn't be surprised in the draft if we don't draft a return specialist, some guy who's just going to do punts and kickoffs. I mean, and I hope that and if we do find one who's really good again, like, okay, stop. That's all he does, right? Don't try to integrate him in the offense.
Thank you, Charles.
It's John Dorn, yeah.
Dorn.
Well, what is John Dorn? No, he like Matt Nagy. So,
What's up, Chad? Just doing a little pregame before the Lions show today. Because they're hopefully going to get beat up.
well, we know Mike's prediction.
I usually go last, and I'm not doing too bad in predictions.
I know he wants that Gale Sayers pitcher back.
I would like it back for sure. That's all right. I'll give you a year to send it back.
No, I'm not like you, Mike. I'll send it right out.
Damn.
But anything anybody else would like to talk about before we get to prediction?
No, it depends on our defense today if we can get in on Jared Goff. Plain and simple. You can't be. I mean, Gibson. He was supposed to take Mac's place, and he's not getting in at all. I mean, I think our best lineman is Justin Jones. I think that's our best D lineman right now. And we got to stop that run because DeAndre Swift, he's a hell of a runner.
I guess my question for everyone is the way this offense. I think if you would have asked us at the beginning of the year, everyone said the first round we got to go with the offensive lineman. But as the season's gone on, and we've seen this team grow. What do you guys think our actual first round draft need as of today would be?
I mean, I don't know. It's like all the money we have. Who are we going to go out and get next year? Is there a defensive lineman out there that we could pick up? I mean, I know Dante Fowler. He's a free agent after next year. Clowney, he's old. He's probably washed up, but he's still there. But how do we declare that with all this money we have?
I don't think the Bears are going to spend all that money in one offseason.
No, I know that.
I just don't think it's going to happen.
They're going to spend on their needs.
Yeah. Exactly.
Me and Ken talked about this a few times. We talked about it last week a little bit, and I'm close where Ken's at. I think we spent a little more than what Ken says, but I think in between 80 and 90 million, I think we spend this coming year. Don't want to spend it all. Don't want to hurt you.
Coles wants to draft. He wants to build from the draft, right? So for me, right now, it's defensive line edge.
Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah. But like as far as where we spend our money, we'll spend a little bit to re-sign a couple guys or to extend a couple guys. But I don't like Bears fans thinking, oh, we got 130 million. They're looking for that big splashy signing in the offseason.
It's not there.
I don't think it's going to happen. Honestly, I don't think we're going to spend more than 50 million. 50 to 60 million for the season, because why? Unless you get a guy who's like, a salary cap casualty from another team, like a Roquan Smith type situation. Let's say he becomes a salary cap. It's not going to be Roquan. I'm just using it as an example. But like Roquan could be a salary cap casualty for Baltimore because they're going to have to pay him or Lamar. I'm paying Lamar every day. But you might find some guy who's, coming out of a rookie contract, who's still young, coming into his peak, say as a defensive lineman or offensive lineman or something. Like I could see some money going there, but honestly, I don't see the Bears, coming out with this big splashy signing because I don't think that's Poles, and he's said, look, I'm building via the draft,
and that's his specialty is the draft.
Yeah. Well, see, I think that when it comes to us, depends where we pick. I either, like Ken, like you said, I would say defensive lineman, but it's back and forth. I would say maybe the best linebacker too that's out there available for the draft as well. Because, we got Murrow, we got Samber, we got young guys there, but if they don't produce as what we hope they do, I think we either get a D lineman or a linebacker first round.
Yeah, we'll see how Sanborn and Morrow do. I mean, if I say D line because of lack of pressure. I think if they get more pressure, then the linebackers do better. But I mean, yeah, I couldn't fault them, Woody, if you had just like some beastly linebacker sitting there that you took him first because he's just a phenomenal athlete, the best athlete on the board kind of thing, Al Davis style. But I think we're going to be drafting a lot of defense this year, not so much offense, because the line has gotten a lot better. I mean, I think if anything, if we draft line, it'll be more rotational. I think the Bears are happy with their starting O-line overall, given the improvement we've seen this season.
Right.
Yeah, but do you think that if we don't get the pressure on there, that you think the Bears would ever go back to a 4-3 defense?
No, I think they're going to stay with where they're at now, because the defensive back play has improved so dramatically, and now it's just a question of getting pressure. And if they can get pressure, I think this defensive setup they've got now with the personnel they got fits better than what we had with 3-4. The 3-4 works better than the 4-3. No, the 4-3. Yeah, mixing it
I
up.
would think 4-3 have more options.
And to answer your question, Ken, I feel like our needs is we lost a lot on that defensive front. We've got to get some of that defensive front back.
Don't bring them. Don't bring it up, Mike. Please.
I won't say names, but everybody on the panel know. But we definitely need.
I'm sure everybody on the panel knows who I'm talking about, but please, I don't want to hear his name, please. It still hurts.
Got about 15 minutes left. We'll move to. We had John in the lobby, but it doesn't look like very many people want to jump on and give us their prediction. If you guys are out there, you guys are more than happy. I sent the link in the comments. I'll do it one more time. You can join us live and give us your game predictions. But we'll start this. I'll have all the predictions done next week. So I guarantee it's only a game in between pretty much all of us.
Hey, I had the score almost nailed. Just flipped the teams last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely did for sure. But we'll start with Bear Fan Dan. Bear Fan Dan, what do you think the game prediction is going to be today?
I think it's going to be 24-14 Bears. Offense is going to be the usual. As I said earlier, Goff does not do well in the cold weather. And it's supposed to be, 40?
And how many road games has they lost in a row?
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let the streak continue.
Hopefully it does for sure. We'll move to Woody.
There's people out there that don't know I am the previous standings champ. I think it's going to – honestly, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Everybody doesn't remember that the first couple of weeks, Detroit had the highest points in the league, but they gave up the most as well. So I think this is going to be a 38-35, and everybody knows my game-winning prediction.
Santos for the win.
It's good. That's my prediction. 38-35 Bears.
38-35 Bears. We'll move to CJ. What do you think?
I'm going to go 28-24 Bears.
28-24 Bears. We will move to Ken.
And in a rare occurrence, I agree with Woody again.
I love it.
I mean, the Bears have been averaging 30-plus a game over the last 3 weeks, including Dallas, which has a much better defense than Detroit. So I'm going to agree with Woody. The Bears are going to score 38. But I don't think Detroit is going to see that 30 mark. So I'm going to go 38-28. a two-score game, a two-score margin of victory for the Chicago Bears.
And see, my prediction was pretty close last week because I did say Justin Jones was going to get the winning safety, and the ref screwed it up for me. Thank you.
All right. I agree with Woody. I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring games because let's face it, both defenses for the Lions and the Bears are just not that good. I agree with Ken as well, but I think the Lions actually get close to 30, but they don't get 30. I think the Bears' offense has been playing well. I think the Bears win 34-27.
And we saw the one person from the Lions fan who said the Lions would win 31-30 or something like that. But okay.
I could definitely see the Bears scoring 30.
But Jeff says 38 in my ass. But Jeff, we put up how many points last week against Miami? We put up how many points against Dallas? Both, better defenses than Detroit.
I don't think he's talking about that, Ken. He's telling us that his ass is 38.
Yeah,
so.
It might be because this team is averaging, I think, 32 points a game over the last 3 weeks. Somewhere around there. And this Lions defense is not that good. I thought they'd be better this year, but they're not as good as, say, the Cowboys defense, which we still put up 29 on. So that was our lowest scoring of the last 3 weeks. So 38 is completely doable for this Bears team with the way the offense has been playing. Now, a year ago, I would never thought the Bears would score 38 like that, but different season.
I agree. Different almost everything, for sure. But we'll keep talking, but I'm going to log off my YouTube and my Twitter. We'll keep going, and we'll be going into the Bears game. But glad for everybody to make it. Bear down, and hopefully I'll see everybody next week.
Bear down, people.
Bear down.
Bear down.
What's going on, Mike? This is Desmond Clark, former tight end of your Chicago Bears.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Halas Hall Report.
Defense has been playing too good. So I'm going to take the Bears in a rare shootout.
If that offensive line, we get some help for that one. We in our draft and everything, we need to focus on our offense.
He's going to be on a roll here today. I think he's at least going to have 2 sacks.
Doing it all year long, so if you stop those 2 guys, who else they got?
Robbie to go. He took out Aaron.
Yeah, okay. A touchdown, we got the 1-point lead with 61 seconds left.
Defense is playing good, but our offense has got to show something. Our running game is there, but we need more in the passing game.